All right, today we're jumping into two of the most popular complementary therapies out there, acupuncture and aromatherapy. One involves superfine needles, the other, the power of scent. But how do they actually work? What are people using them for? And, what does the science have to say about it all? So let's break it all down. And that really brings us to the big question, right? These practices have been around for a long time. We're talking centuries. But now, in our world of modern medicine, how do we figure out what's what? Are these powerful healing tools, or is it all just hype? Okay, so first things first, how are these therapies even supposed to work? To really get it, we need to look at their core ideas, which, as you'll see, come from two totally different ways of looking at the human body. What's so fascinating about acupuncture is that it kind of has this split personality. From the traditional Chinese medicine perspective, it's all about balancing your qi, your life energy, that flows through these invisible pathways. But then you have the modern Western view, which says, hey, maybe those needles are actually stimulating nerves and tissues, telling your body to release its own built-in painkillers. So, same action, two completely different explanations. Now, aromatherapy, that's a whole different ballgame. It's all about your brain. The idea is when you breathe in an essential oil, those scent molecules travel straight to your brain's limbic system. This is basically the command center for your emotions and memories. The scent then triggers the release of chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which can affect your mood. Okay, so we know the theories, but what do people actually use them for in the real world? For acupuncture, it's pretty clear that pain management is a huge one. According to the Mayo Clinic, a lot of people seek it out for those chronic, nagging pains, lower back pain, neck pain, osteoarthritis. It's also really common for headaches, especially migraines, and even for managing nausea from things like chemotherapy. Aromatherapy, on the other hand, seems to be studied more for its effects on our mood and behavior. Research has looked into whether it can help with things like reducing stress, getting better sleep, or even dealing with nicotine cravings. And get this, one study even found that a lavender scent helped calm down dogs during car trips. Who knew? All right, now for the part you've probably been waiting for, the science. What does the research actually say about how well these work, and what are the risks involved? This quote from a scientific paper just nails it perfectly. Aromatherapy, mythical, magical, or medicinal? It really captures the whole debate. Lots of people swear by it, they find it incredibly relaxing. But proving it's truly medicinal in a scientific sense, well, that's where things get a lot more complicated. So let's talk safety, because the risks for these two are really apples and oranges. With acupuncture, as long as you're going to a certified professional who uses sterile needles, the risks are pretty low. You might get a little soreness, maybe some minor bruising. The most important thing is just to tell them if you're pregnant or have a pacemaker. But with aromatherapy, the main concern is your skin. Allergic reactions can definitely happen, and some oils, like bergamot, are phototoxic, which means if you put it on your skin and then go in the sun, you could get a nasty reaction. And this isn't just some theoretical risk. There was a study that looked at massage therapists who use these oils all the time. It found that nearly a quarter of them, 23%, developed hand dermatitis within a year. That's a pretty significant number, and it really shows the real-world impact of being in constant contact with these oils. So what about effectiveness? This study from an ER waiting room is super interesting. Take a look at this first bar. Music alone? Yep, big drop in anxiety. Now, the second one, aromatherapy by itself? Not so much. No real significant change there. But what's really fascinating is that when you combine them, it works, but no better than the music did on its own. It kind of suggests that, at least in this situation, aromatherapy's effect might be pretty subtle. Okay, so you've heard the theories, the uses, the risks. What now? If you're thinking about trying one of these, how do you make a smart, informed choice? Well, if acupuncture is on your radar, the Mayo Clinic lays out a really practical 4-step guide. First off, ask around. Get recommendations from people you trust. But then, do your own homework. Check their credentials. Don't be shy about interviewing the practitioner. Ask them about their approach, the costs, all of it. And finally, see if your insurance might cover it. It's a pretty clear path to finding someone qualified. But honestly, before you do any of that, here is the single most important step, and it applies to both therapies. Talk to your doctor. Seriously, whether you're considering needles or scents, your doctor needs to be in the loop. They can help you figure out if it's a safe choice for your specific health situation and make sure it won't mess with any other treatments you're getting. So, what's the big takeaway here? I think it's this. Even though we often group these therapies under the same alternative umbrella, they are just fundamentally different. They work on different principles, they're used for different things, and they have really different levels of scientific evidence and regulation behind them. And that really leaves us with this big question to chew on. As scientists keep digging into these therapies, studying how they work and how effective they are, will that line we've drawn between alternative and mainstream medicine start to get a little blurry? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.